So today I am going to talk about the requirement traceability. So like what is traceability? So where exactly the requirement traceability will happen in case of testing, and also how to trace the requirements. So what kind of the tracing matrix, what kind of traceability is available, okay, and also what is the purpose of this requirement traceability, okay, where it is used, okay, so this kind of things we will see in this session. Okay, so let's start. First RTM, the meaning, the abbreviation here, requirement, okay, requirement traceability, okay, requirement traceability matrix. Okay, the name itself having an answer like a requirement traceability matrix. Okay, so far it is completed like test designing. Okay, test designing. Okay, test designing is completed, right? In the time of test designing time, so we design like test scenarios. So this we discussed in practical chapter, right? So the test scenarios and test cases. Okay, so now in this time, whether you want to confirm that whether you have covered the requirements or not, by the time of designing, the testing activities for manual testing or automation, any of the thing. So now you have to confirm that whether I am covered my requirements or not. So actually the testing is, development is, and designing is happened from where the base is requirements. So based on the requirements only, all the activities are happening, in organization side. In similar way, when it is comes to the testing side, okay, how you ensure that, the test scenarios are correct, okay, test cases are correct. Okay, so how you confirm whether I matched the requirements with my test designings, I matched the test cases to my requirements. Okay, so in that time, to match, to understand the requirements whether I covered or not, okay, as a engineers, okay, whether the requirements are covered or not, so that the things, okay, that kind of the process is going to maintained by, okay, RTM document or RTM predefined template. Okay, that information is available on predefined document. Okay, RTM predefined document. So that document contains all the business requirements, all the functional requirements, all the system requirements, and along with test cases, along with the test scenarios, and along with covered date, and along with who is going to cover on that date, okay, and also how long it is going to be the traced happened. Okay, so that information is available on RTM predefined template. So this is organization process. In organization process point of view, so that information is there in RTM document. So that we will see later. Okay, so up to the requirement traceability matrix. So the name here answer I am going to trace the requirements to my testing activities. The understanding is from this RTM, the topic is I am going to trace or I am going to map my requirement to test cases. Okay, in my case, test cases are, okay, obviously mostly it is happened test cases. In other side test scenarios also. So whether whatever I am designing based on the requirements, so whether that is covered or not. So whether I am able to perform successful designings or not. So that I am going to be understand, okay, by using this RTM document. So this is one of the organization standard. The RTM document will be used in organization for each and every writing the test case. So each and every time I am writing the test scenarios, okay, for each and every time writing the TCs test cases and the test scenarios, okay, I am updating the RTM template. Okay, suppose let's take one example here. Okay, example I am going to take one example here login. Okay, login is one functionality. So in that functionality, okay, I have some requirements username. Assume that the username comma password. So this related requirements I covered or not at the time of designing. So obviously, like once we are writing, like once we are designing the test cases, so we are covering the requirement, like we are covering the requirement with the number, like FREQ, okay, functional requirement specification, okay, 1, okay, functional, okay, requirement specification 2, okay, functional requirement specification 3, like that I am going to cover like one by one requirement. Okay, so suppose first requirement related test case will be, okay, first requirement test case will be, okay, test will be test case 1, okay, okay, test case 2, okay, test case 3, okay, like that I am going to be like monitor, or I am going to map the requirements to the test case. Suppose in this case FREQ is matched to TC1, so myself I conclude that I covered my requirement for my test designing. So if it is in case FREQ is not covered in test case 2, so that like, so I am not raising my requirement, means simply like I not cover the requirement. If I am like, if I am going for functional requirement 3, so if I am design some test case in the form of like okay, test case 3, so now myself I am concluding like I covered my test cases. So let us see one diagrammation. Okay, so here let us take general. Okay, this I am talking about here, this I am talking here a requirement 1, whatever the requirement, okay, requirement 2, okay, requirement 2, and this is I am saying that requirement 3. Okay, here I want at the time of designing, I want to confirm that whether my requirement 1 is not only requirement, all the requirements are covering or not. Okay, all the requirements are covering or not. So in my case at the time of manual testing, so I am covering that requirements by writing some suitable test cases from end to end, positive and negative test cases for that requirement. Okay, in similar way like requirement 2, okay, requirement 2 and requirement 3. Simply like I am mapping my work to requirement. So if my work is correct, so my testing is happened correctly, means my test designing is happened correctly. If it is not that, so my test designing is not happened correctly. So that's okay, that time, so we lost like confidence on the application. So if you are not unable to cover the requirements, so that will be effect on final the output or like ongoing present output, like sprint wise or build wise. So that will be effect to the customers. Okay, like here requirement 1 test case 1, requirement 2 test case 2, requirement 3 test case. Here in my case I covering with requirement with like different test case number. Suppose here other side I have not covered this requirement, means requirement means here I in my okay explanation I have only 3 requirements, but when it is going for real time application there are so many requirements. Okay, at the time of designing sometimes we will forget to cover the requirement. Okay, in case of like, okay, if you have the n number of requirements, so sometimes due to your like okay frustration or due to heavy work you are unable to cover that requirements. So that uncovered okay, the uncovered requirement is also affect final output I am talking. So that is only the concept of like requirement traceability matrix. So whatever the thing at the time of designing, that should be mapped to the requirement. Okay, why this will means, so if you are unable to cover the requirement means, so the finally the customer will lose his confidence as well as the output is also not good. Okay, and also like okay in upcoming sprints also that will affect. Okay, so that's why the RTM is helpful. Okay, so that's why like RTM is helpful. Now let's see like the different types of RTM. Okay, different types of RTM. There are 2 types of RTMs. Okay, there are 2 types of RTMs. One RTM is okay unidirectional. Okay, unidirectional traceability Okay, unidirectional traceability matrix, okay, and bidirectional. Okay, bidirectional traceability matrix. Okay, bidirectional traceability matrix. So here this RTM again it will works. Okay, RTM will works. Okay, RTM will works entire SDLC process. Okay, RTM is works entire SDLC process. So we know like SDLC process. SDLC process means like requirement. Okay, requirement gathering. Okay, requirement gathering, analysis. Okay, analysis and planning. Okay, and designing. Okay, designing, development, testing. Okay, support and maintenance. Okay, through okay this entire phases this RTM will works. Okay, entire phase, like entire process the RTM will works from okay like a requirement phase to the supporting phase. Okay, RTM will works. Now let's see like the different types of RTM. Okay, how the RTM will works in case of unidirectional traceability matrix and how the RTM will works bidirectional traceability matrix. Okay, let's first understand about like unidirectional traceability. Okay, unidirectional traceability matrix. Okay, the name itself having answer like unidirectional. Okay, only like single direction. Okay, whatever the requirements I want to cover, so that I am going to cover unidirectional means single direction. Okay, I want to cover these things in single direction. Okay, let's see the diagram of the unidirectional, the process, how the things will be happen in unidirectional. Okay, same like requirement phase, REQ. Okay. Okay, analysis and planning. Designing, development, testing, okay, support and maintenance. So this is like one-to-one process. Okay, this is like SDLC process, right? Okay, now if I am coming from from starting to like a requirement phase to like a designing phase, development phase, okay, and testing phase. So this is I am calling like unidirectional. Okay, unidirectional traceability matrix, or okay, unidirectional traceability matrix, or the other name for this is forward traceability. Okay, or forward traceability matrix. Okay, forward traceability matrix. Okay, in forward traceability matrix what I am doing is, Okay, I am tracing the requirements one by one. Okay, if I am talking like testing way, I am covering the requirements for testing. Okay, like simply like I am mapping the requirements to the test cases. So in my case, like as a test engineer, as a testing team point of view, if I am talking the definition, like mapping the requirements. Okay, mapping the requirements to test case. So that is called as like forward traceability matrix. Okay, that the name is called like forward traceability matrix. Means, okay, I am designing like a test case, like I am designing from the requirements, right? So requirement 1, whether I covered in the form of like test case or not. Requirement 2, I covered like test case 2 or not. Like that up to requirement 10, the test cases in there or not. Simply like I want to cover 100% simply, whatever the requirements, so that I need to be touched, okay, for 100%. Whether if have the any problem, so that problems like if the any of the clarification is not there, so that I need to ask the clarification to the business analyst or project manager. Okay, like that. But my intention is, so as a testing member or development member or designing member, all environment, the intention is need to be cover all requirements. So in the testing case, so mapping the requirements to the test case, that is called as a forward traceability matrix. Okay, and also other side, like if I am going to talk about backward traceability, like reverse, like starting to ending is called as a forward traceability. Now if I am going to talk about, so that in like reverse traceability, like ending to starting. Okay, ending to starting, like supporting maintenance to the requirement phase. So if I want to cover, so that the name is called as reverse traceability matrix. So that the name is called, okay, so that is the name is reverse traceability matrix. Okay, reverse traceability matrix. So in this reverse traceability matrix, if I am talking the testing way, testing purpose, so simply I am mapping, okay, mapping the test cases to, okay, mapping the test cases to requirements. So that is like reverse traceability matrix. Okay, unidirectional means either from this side or this side. So that is, if I am doing, so this kind of like, if I want tracing the requirements from this side to this side, so this is unidirectional traceability. Or else I am not going for this direction. If I am going for this direction, means this is one of the unidirectional. Okay, so this is like one type of is unidirectional traceability matrix. Okay, unidirectional traceability matrix, in that like forward or reverse, forward or reverse traceability matrix, forward or reverse traceability matrix, right? So in that, if I am going like either one direction, like forward direction, so that is unidirectional. Or else if I am only looking for reverse, means that is one of the unidirectional type, the matrix. When it comes to the bidirectional, if you are covering from starting to ending at a time, bidirectionally, so you are doing like the things you want to cover from starting, like either from one side to, okay, from starting to ending or ending to starting. So if you are tracing that, so that the thing is called as bidirectional traceability matrix. So at a time, depends on my situation, once the test cases are completed, okay, so again I am going for back tracing the requirement. Like how I am tracing the requirement, so the requirement also having some numbers. So requirement also having some identification number. Okay, requirement 1, requirement 2, requirement 3. Based on that, I am going to trace the requirement one by one. And also based on the names also, I am going to trace the requirement along with my test cases. So this entire process, it is called as like a bidirectional traceability matrix. Okay, here based on my requirement, suppose I am suddenly missed one requirement in middle, I am unable to cover. Okay, at the time of I am unable to cover. So now at the time of tracing, I found that mistake. Okay, I found out that defect at the time of reverse time, like at the time of reverse traceability time, I found out one requirement is miss. So now if you are finding that mistake, so that will be helps to improve the project. Okay, that will be helps to provide the that will be helps to overcome the problems. Like in future, okay, if today I miss one project, so that will be effect on next time requirement, like next time build. So that's why, so that requirement traceability is very important. So simple like 100% coverage for requirement. So if I am talking the testing way, the 100% okay, requirement coverage to the test cases to the requirement. Okay, so that is like the requirement traceability matrix. Okay, this is generally it is happened in organization point of view, but anyhow, so this is very important. So each and like I want to show the proof. Okay, like simply other word is like the proof points. The other name for this is proof points. Okay, how to ensure that whether the things are covered or not. Okay, 100% coverage is on like requirements or not. So by doing, okay, by with this requirement document, the manager or like okay leads or seniors are going to be understand so and so requirements are covered. Okay, why this the safety means in future if any of the problem is occurred suddenly. Okay, so if you are unable to cover any of the requirement in middle, so that is one of the very critical problem. So that's why doing work, so this is one of the proof kind of document. Okay, proof kind of document this is. Okay, let's see like what are the template. Okay, actually this RTM is one of the report. Okay, RTM is a report on requirements. RTM is one of the report. Okay, RTM is one of the report on requirements. Okay, always once your designing is completed, okay, once the requirements test cases are covered, so immediately need to update the RTM template. Okay, RTM document with information. Okay, so and so time, what you covered, so and so person is covered, what requirement is covered. So that is information will need to be updated always in RTM document. So this RTM will be there in organization point of view. Okay, the organization will maintain for each and every time the RTM, they will update each and every employee once the finishing is completed, like designing or execution. So the employees are need to update like RTM template. Okay, let's see like the template, predefined template. Okay, with like different columns. Okay, let's see that the RTM template. Okay. Okay, so this is the column. Okay, this is one of the predefined template, so no need to worry. So this, okay, once you are joined in organization, so they will say about, they will talk about this RTM document, okay, with a couple of columns. So here once you see here the columns will very simple. Okay, columns is very simple here. The column, the instructions will be like project code. Okay, so project, like a project code and project name, version, like a version name. Okay, 2.0 or 3.0 or 4.0, the version like that, and also last updated. Suppose today I am going to write the updation date. So today I am giving like date, okay, 1/1/2016. Okay, so I am giving the date like, okay, last day, last updated means yesterday I updated. Okay, so now let's see like the columns here. Okay, with different fields. Okay, here the serial number 1, 2, 3. Okay, here BREQ stands for, you know, like this is business requirement, okay, specification. Okay, SREQ means system requirement specification, FREQ means functional requirement specification. So in that document, okay, suppose the module having the number, okay, the module having the number in BREQ, business requirement. So the number, based on the numbers we have to update the RTM. So no need to update as one. So based on the numbers of the document, okay, based on the numbers of the document, so need to be updated by the engineers, right? Here BREQ is having the first number, and if when it is comes to the SREQ, so that number will be 1.1. When it is comes to here FREQ, the number will be like 1.2. Like the functionality I am talking. This the numbers I am talking, like the different document to different document, the numbers I am talking, these numbers will be like functionality numbers. Okay, these functionality requirements numbers, it is available on like the requirements documents. So they will give like 1.2, 1.4, 1.5 based on the modules they will assign the numbers. So that assigned number is used in RTM document. Okay, so now let's here other side, once you look here like test scenario. TS stands for test scenario, means we are identify all possibilities of an application. So that the column test scenario. Now here when it comes to the test case, now I am going to update, now I am going to execute the test scenario one by one. So that related information. Now status, whether I covered or not, like means not only executing here, whether these three requirements are I covered for test scenarios and test cases or not. That status I am asking. Okay, that status here. If it is covered means simply like covered. Here I said like not covered. If it is covered means covered. If it is still on progress means the name like work in progress. Okay, the thing is like work in progress. Okay, and also mention the date of the complete. Suppose today I finished, so the date I am going to mention the date today's. Okay, 1, okay, 11 like that. Okay, and also I covered 2, 11. Okay, work in progress. So my work is in progress means suppose I am going like 11. Okay, in similar way I am going to update the column number 4. Okay, BREQ number, and also here like 2.2. Okay, and when it is comes to okay, to not 2.2, 2.2. Okay, 2.2 for this SREQ. When it is comes to the FREQ, 2.3 assume. So here my test scenario will be agent page. Okay, my test case will be okay, verify. Okay, verify the SIPS agent page. Verify the agent page. So my status is, so today on I start. So my status is what? Not covered. Okay, not covered. Once it is completed, I am giving the name for this. Like that, whenever the designings are completed, whenever the testing, like once you are covering the requirement, so we are going for simultaneously like RTM document plus going for test case document as well as test scenario document. Okay, today I completed the job means, so that work need to be there in my requirement traceability. So by using this document we can trace how many requirements are covered, how many requirements are not covered, and also we will estimate that so how many requirements are successfully passed, how many requirements are unsuccessfully like failed. So like that the estimation will be happen based on this RTM. Okay, this RTM will be useful for okay, all kind of environment. So this RTM is given by the project manager. So at the time of monitoring the process in project management plan, so entire the information is described by the project manager. Okay, so based on the instructions only the all environments are going to be followed. So this is again is a part of like requirement traceability is part of like project management plan. Okay, so like, so once you are using the RTM, okay, once you are using the RTM, okay, what are the benefits or what are the like merits and what are the demerits? If I am using, suppose what is my advantages? So if I am using the RTM is what I am getting advantage? I am getting advantage like coverage. Okay, I am getting one thing like coverage on requirements. Okay, and also like I am not missing any requirement. Not missing any requirement. Okay, to avoid Okay, to avoid the confusion, okay, to avoid confusion on requirements. So like versions by versions, the project means it is happened like different versions, right? So versions by versions. Okay, version by version, and also easily trace. Okay, easy traceability. Okay, easy way of tracing. Okay, easy way of tracing the requirements. Okay, so if you are using the RTM, okay, if you are not using the RTM, okay, just I am talking here, this is advantages. Okay, when it is comes to here, disadvantages. Okay, disadvantages. Okay, if you are not following the RTM, coverage will miss. Okay, coverage will miss. Okay, and also too much rework. Okay, risk. Okay, risk will happen. Okay, risk is nothing but it's a future problem. Okay, too much rework, risk will happen. Okay, tracing is not easy. Okay, requirement tracing is not easy. Okay, tracing is not easy. So if I am using, so I am getting here. If I am not using, so always like my project it is going by negative way. Okay, project means entire requirements are going for negative way. Okay, so this is about like RTM.